Hi everybody, this is Mythical Kaiju here, and today I'm going to talk about some new Godzilla 2014 information. This time it is a Godzilla 2014 main trailer breakdown with Empire Online and Gareth Edwards, the director of Godzilla, coming out May 16, 2014. Okay, so yeah, Gareth Edwards, I guess for to celebrate the Godzilla trailer or just for random reasons, their breakdown of the Godzilla main trailer that got released February 25th. And he does reveal some little spoilers and some little tidbits and so on and so forth. So, let's read. So, there's actually a video. I'll put this article as a link in the description below. It's from Cosmic Book News. And, it reveals some tidbits and spoilers as I mentioned. And there's also a video about it as well. If you're too lazy for reading. But I read instead of the whole looking at the video just about copyright strikes and all this crazy stuff that I really hate about copyright strikes. So, okay, let's read the article in its full word form. Legendary Gareth Edwards recently launched a second Godzilla trailer. It's the main trailer, which has already stomped its way on YouTube with well over 12 million views. Well, if I check right now, it's almost 15 million views, so that's a bunch. Now the director provides explanations and bits of spoilers in the following video regarding the newest Godzilla trailer with Empire Online. You can skip and watch the video of Edward below, or check out the following tidbits. So I'm going to read the tidbits, as I mentioned. Bryan Cranston and Aaron Taylor Johnson family got torn apart 15 years ago by a quote-unquote natural disaster, and now it comes back to haunt them in a big way. So that means, Bryan Cranston, Aaron Taylor Johnson, it was all fine, and then all of a sudden something caused terror, and, it just like confused them, or, something just torn them apart 15 years ago by something that people or maybe the army is mentioning was just a natural disaster. But this could possibly be the scene in the trailer, the second scene in the trailer where there's this kid looking out outside, and then there's a nuclear reactor being destroyed. And I mentioned those were towers or something, but I think that's a nuclear reactor now that I think about it. So yeah, this 15 years ago could be the Julia Binoche's death, which is Bryan Cranston's wife. I mean, in the film, not real. She's not like literally the real wife of his, but you know what I mean. But, that could possibly be it. 15 years ago, there was a quote-unquote natural disaster, but in real life, maybe Godzilla was shorted. And then Juliette Binoche got killed. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson and Bryan Cranston, that changed their life forever for them. Okay, now let's go to the next plot points or little tidbits. The origami picture in the trailer foreshadows something. So, and actually, if you haven't noticed, most people are saying that there's 3 origami birds. Well, there's actually 4 origami birds. Once about to end that scene, you see that there's another one. So, it says that it foreshadows something. So maybe there might be 4 flying mutual creatures attacking Godzilla at the same time. Maybe 4 other monsters they're trying to defeat. Maybe, there's a bunch of stuff. What could those things be? Okay, another tidbit is that Statue of Liberty is not in New York. Edwards doesn't want to confirm which city. Most likely it's Las Vegas. And also, thank you, what's his name? Joe's son? I believe it's Joe's son. I think it's Joe's son. I forgot his name, but, let me try and find it here. Because, he actually told, I was actually on my video, I was actually mentioning that, it was actually in New York, the Statue of Liberty. Oh yeah, so Jason told me that the locations, the Statue of Liberty is in Las Vegas, not in New York. So, Jason, if you're looking at this video, watching this video, then thank you. So yeah, thank you to that guy. And yeah, so I know that the Statue of Liberty is actually in Las Vegas. It's not in New York. It's in Las Vegas because you look in the background, there's some mountains. So, that's the reason why it's in Las Vegas. And also, you kind of see the red roller coaster in the background as well. And that's also in Las Vegas as well. So, anyways. And then, another tidbit is what Ken Watanabe, or Ken Watanabe, I think it's Ken Watanabe, says was part of a cinematic history in Godzilla lore. So that means this could probably be the scene with, him talking about the history of Godzilla, that 1954 something woke something, the bombs awoken him or something, probably that. But anyways, okay. So Edwards also doesn't mention the possible Godzilla Mothra twins Easter egg. Parenthesis or firemen. Firemen. I never thought of that being firemen. They're stable. They don't move at all. They more look like girls. I mean, there is girl firemen, but they look like still dolls. It looks like they have some flowers or something. And the red is not like firemen. The red is more like a light. So, probably an Easter egg for maybe a sequel. Maybe this could be a possibly sequel, idea with, Mothra coming in. Maybe if these are even the Mothra twins, that means they even have the rights to even some Toho characters. Maybe. But, that's probably in the sequel, because if we add a Toho character, that means, Godzilla's glory is going to be kind of shaded away. And it's most likely going to be for the enemy instead. And, this is Godzilla's film. This is Godzilla. This is Godzilla's time to shine. So, most likely it's not going to be a Toho character, but there's going to be some little Easter eggs, there and there, all these places that mention that, maybe there's a Toho monster or maybe a possible sequel idea. Okay, okay. On the side of the bomb, they thought it would be fun to put an icon, Ghostbusters style of Godzilla. So you remember on that part with Sally Hawkins? I think it was Sally Hawkins mentioning about, the nuclear test in 1954. There's actually this bomb that was shown and it has an icon of Godzilla with an X. Well, that icon was kind of inspired by the Ghostbusters, and they thought it was fun, putting it in there because in the past they used to do drawings on bombs. So, anyways, okay. They pitched the studio that the nuclear tests in the 50s weren't tests at all, but actually just trying to destroy something. The studio loved the idea, and they grew more ideas out from there. This is the first sentence Edward explained to anyone he was trying to pitch the film to. So it looks like they kind of did a little twist there for, the Japanese audience cannot be offended. Okay, and then he mentions, this is one of the most interesting of all. The tentacle is not holding a bomb. It's not quite the case. What could this be then? A missile? But, that'll be too similar. But, it's not a tentacle holding a bomb. It's not that at all. So maybe it's, maybe some mutant creatures, baby sac that's like, consuming the radioactive elements of a missile or a bomb or something. Consuming them before they can give birth or something. I don't know, but, maybe they're attracted to radiation or something. Radioactive elements. So maybe they're consuming a missile, or not, that's just something else that appeared like a missile or something. I don't know exactly, but, time will tell. And then another thing, Edwards told Warner Brothers when they pitched Godzilla that if you don't get close to tearing up in the movie, then he has failed. So that means he wants his film to be chaotic, very emotional as well. He also wants it emotional because, the whole death of Juliette Binoche and all this, stuff. And, he mentioned that that's one particular part, so maybe there's going to be some more emotional parts later. Okay, so Edwards told Warner Bros. When they pitched Godzilla that if you don't get close to... Oh yeah, I already read that, sorry. Okay, the bones are kind of a little treasure map for fans. Let them figure out what this all means in our film. It's not that these things were magically created for some random reason. We tried to make it realistic as possible. If there was a giant creature, how did it get there? Has it always been here? And if so, were there others? That's another question we addressed in the film. In the movie, excuse me. Were they others? That means Godzilla. And some other creatures like Wind Muto, maybe another Muto creature. Maybe just another random creature that was attacked by Godzilla maybe 15 years ago or something. I don't know. I actually don't even know, like, the bones. I don't know, like, if they're from the past. But there's actually somebody who saw that there's actually some dead people on the side that they look from the modern ages. modern ages. Yes, they're from the modern ages, and they look like, they barely got killed, So pretty weird there, pretty weird. Unless human flesh takes longer to decompose than radioactive giant man-eating monsters, but I actually don't know. Another thing is that Edwards doesn't want to spoil the monsters in the film, but if you freeze frame the Godzilla trailer, there's some obvious things implied. Yeah, like for example, the scene with the the Muto claw showing up and the red brightness. That could be a Muto, but I don't know what Muto. Maybe a flying Muto. I mean, wing Muto, whatever you want to call it. I like calling it a flying Muto. Maybe, one of the 8-legged Muto. Maybe it's another completely new Muto that we haven't even know about and they kept it a secret already. So, we don't exactly know. Okay, and then on the first Lego Godzilla shown in the trailer, our first, quote-unquote, our simple rule for conceiving Godzilla was imagine that he really existed and that in the 1950s, someone saw him in Japan and they ran to the studio and they tried to explain him to the guys at Toho. They went and made the movies they made based out of that description. And in our film, when you see him clearly with all that amazing CGI that's been done, you realize how they got that look, but this feels like a true Godzilla. That means Gareth is, convinced that this is a good design for Godzilla. It's not a disaster that happened in 1998. So that means it's going to be a pretty good Godzilla. If Edwards saying that's good Godzilla, then we're going to think it's also a good Godzilla most likely. And then finally, the new World Godzilla is in part based on how they created the original and sounds fantastic in Dolby Digital Surround 7.1. So that means they're really getting to the origins from the original Godzilla movie. Because, on the Godzilla movie, they got this, brass or something. And then they got this, rubber glove. And then they, did a certain way for it can sound like war. Well, they actually did it, but they wanted to make it more like a digital kind of. So, they used a little bit part of that with the whole, bass like that. And also and he also mentioned it sounds fantastic in the Dolby Digital Surround 7.1. And there's also a video right here. So anyways, this is a very interesting breakdown with Gareth Edwards. He does reveal some stuff where, we thought, are unexplainable. I mean, well, the things that we thought, for example, the tentacle around the bomb, has completely changed now thanks to this. Completely changed. Like, for example, as I said, the tentacle in the bomb, it's not that, it's something else. Maybe it's, mother leaving an egg sac for the little babies or the infants can consume on, radioactive elements such as uranium or, anything of those, radioactive elements on the element charts. Probably the missile is probably some good products for, having radioactive elements for, the infants can eat and consume for they can get bigger and bigger and then they can be alone in the world and be malevolent and destroying stuff all over the place. So, I really do not know the whole thing about the skeletons, the tentacle around the bomb, even though that was completely changed. But I think for the bomb part, maybe it's an egg sac that was left, and there's a bunch of babies there that are, trying to grow, but they need radioactive elements to, become adults and destroy stuff, so they need, radioactive elements, and they can find radioactive elements in a missile, because it has explosive product in it, so, it's my thought of skeletons. I'm not exactly sure, what is that, because, about the human carcass right next to it. Then, it's just a big mystery. So, anyways, and for this video, tell me in the comments below if your speculation ideas just got completely changed around thanks to this breakdown. And also, are you happy on how much Gareth Edwards, made a secret on all these tidbits? He wanted a secret, for example, the Las Vegas where the Statue of Liberty is at. They kept that as a secret or something. Are you happy that Gareth Edwards actually kept that as a secret and other stuff as a secret? Or do you wish he revealed more? So anyways, as I mentioned, this is the end for this video. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. This is Mythical Kaiju, signing out.